If you are looking for a small, portable and affordable camera to bring on your next trip, I might just have the solution for you. I think used GoPros are absolutely amazing. Mainly because, well, they are cheap, and also if you pick the right GoPro, you can have some amazing quality of footage for the money that you spend. The newer GoPros, the Hero 9 and the GoPro Hero 10, are quite a bit bigger than their predecessors. So that's why in this video I will be mainly talking about the GoPro Hero 7 and the GoPro Hero 8. Because those models, especially used, have a great price and also a great feature set still. And they're quite a bit smaller than the newer GoPros, so I think that's a big win. Especially the GoPro Hero 7 is just a tiny bit smaller than the GoPro Hero 8, and GoPro's what they call hyper smooth was introduced in the GoPro Hero 7, which meant that you got crazy stabilized footage from it, and that improved in the GoPro Hero 8 with hyper smooth 2.0, but both have great stabilization, and I think that's the most important feature in an action camera that you bring on a trip or something, that the footage is stabilized, the footage is like high quality, sharp, and I think the GoPro Hero 7 and 8 both do that. Now GoPros and action cameras in general, they do kind of compete with your smartphone, because when it comes to video, smartphones, well, especially iPhones, they have great video quality recording, and if you spend a lot of money on a GoPro, I think that money can better be spent on a good phone that can record more efficient footage as well, because I've noticed GoPro footage is absolutely gigantic in size for me compared to like iPhone footage, which is very efficient. So that brings me to the GoPro Hero 7. Why? Because the GoPro Hero 7 is the smallest of the bunch of the new ones, and hyper smooth was introduced in the GoPro Hero 7. Plus, it has a replaceable lens, and I think that's absolutely crucial if you want to have something that's complementary to an iPhone or a smartphone in general, because you can use an action camera with a replaceable lens for any type of like sports or rough conditions, rough terrain or tough weather conditions, because the lens is replaceable for like $10 or $15. And it's a big shame that the GoPro Hero 8 does not have a replaceable lens. I do find myself using the GoPro Hero 8 way more carefully than the GoPro Hero 7, and I would say that's a shame in footage from an action camera, because you do aim to get that crazy unique action camera footage, and that's gonna be more fun to watch if the person that's filming dares to do more with the action camera. You will get crazier situations that the action camera is in filming than you would get on like a smartphone, because with a smartphone you should be way more careful. The GoPro Hero 7 though is, in my opinion, only very good in a certain setup, and after some playing around with different kind of setups, I think I have a very good setup for the GoPro Hero 7. Unfortunately, the GoPro Hero 7 doesn't have flip out feet built in like that they introduced in the GoPro Hero 8 and 9 and 10. They are not the highest quality out there, but it's nice to have that option in there. Now with the GoPro Hero 7 you would have to use a case always, but with a case again it does allow you to get in some more tough situations because it's protected anyway. A company called Ulanzi makes some great products for GoPros and other things in general, but their GoPro magnetic mounts are very good. It's a shame that the magnetic mount that is like a square that you attach on whatever, can be chest mounted or tripod mounted, is for the GoPro Hero 8 and later only because of their flip out feet. But if you modify a GoPro Hero 7 case in a way where you only have to pop in the GoPro Hero 7 from like behind the case where it stays in, because the GoPro Hero 7 doesn't have hard plastic around it, but more like a texture which makes it stick in a case way better, even though it's not like closed off with a special lid or cap. It can be very practical. It can be even better than flip out feet because it's easier to attach and detach. So this way the GoPro Hero 7 can easily be grabbed out of that particular modified case and be put into a pocket very easily, even the small pocket in most jeans. And so that particular setup with the modified case into the Ulanzi magnetic mounting system allows for some amazing like POV shots from your chest, which I think is one of the best places for a GoPro to be in, because the arms are still visible that way and it's not really as shaky with all the head movements when it's strapped to a head. And so I've gotten some cool POV shots from your chest with this particular setup, mainly because it's so easy to snap on your chest and off your chest because of the magnets than it is for an entire GoPro chest strap. But because of those strong magnets in the Ulanzi magnetic system, you can stick the GoPro with those magnets on pretty much any metal surface, which is very useful because there's a lot of metal surfaces around you if you think about it, especially if you go on like a city trip. There's metal poles and stuff like that everywhere basically, so it's great to stick it on there and record like a time lapse of a sunset or maybe even a night lapse. So POV mode, selfie stick mode, sticking it on any metal surface mode are the three main modes that allow for great footage from a GoPro in, like, let's say a trip. But the downside of a GoPro is that the battery doesn't last that long. So you can bring external batteries with you, that's great, but I would say that does add up to the things that you have to put in your pocket, and it's just more stuff to lose, I think. I was a big fan of bringing like a small selfie stick with a power bank built into it, which is also happens to be from Ulanzi, that has a 1/4 20-inch thread that lets you mount basically anything on there. So combining that with that modular magnetic design from Ulanzi allows you to record for a crazy long time. You can also just leave that power bank on and use the magnetic system to attach it to a metal surface, and that will allow you to record, let's say, sunsets or sunrises for a crazy long time, because the power bank keeps feeding the GoPro power, and I've basically never run into an issue where the power bank is empty. The final little DIY setup I have for you is also very portable, where you put the GoPro Hero 7 on its own into a phone mount. It's a phone mount that usually comes with a GoPro tripod or whatever, and the GoPro Hero 7 size and special texture on the outside allows it to stick in quite well into a spring-loaded phone mount, and that combined with the power bank tripod allows for a very cool vlogging setup as well, where, like, once again you get like infinite power to the GoPro, which let you keep on filming as long as your SD card allows it to. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys, a little DIY GoPro setup with the magnetic mounts from Ulanzi. I hope it was useful. It certainly has been for me on a couple of trips I've taken. It's just a great little portable and affordable device. Alright, thanks for watching and see you next time.